All right, so we want to answer the question, why do we flip the sign over, the inequality sign, which can be like greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, less than, equal to, over when we multiply by negative? We want to maintain its truth. We want to maintain the truth of the inequality. So that's why we do this. But let's see it in an example to prove it, right? Why do we flip the sign over when we multiply by -1 or divide by -1? Okay, let's take a simple example. Let's take an example like, for example, let's say x is greater than -1 is the same as x is less than, negative x is less than +1. So you can see I've multiplied each term by negative, and I've reversed the sign as well. Okay. Now, putting this on a number line, or giving it some values, let's say I give it some values over here. So if I give it some values here, I can see that if x is equal to, if I choose a value of x must be greater than -1. So that means if I'm on a number line and I'm at -1, it's going to be all the values to the right of it. Okay. Now, if I am on that same number line, I've got -1, 0, 1, and 2, let's say, exact same number line, and I put negative x in there. Every time I put the x value, let's say all of these x values, it should still be true, right? If I put these x values in there, then this should be true. But let's check if it's true. Let's start with 0. If I put 0 in here, then it will become 0 is less than 1. Yep, that's true. If I put 1 in here, it will become -1, which is less than 1. That's true. If I put 2 in here, then this becomes -2, which is less than 1. That's also true. So all of these values are definitely true, which means that the values, and this remember means excluding -1, because it's not equal to. If it's equal to, we put a closed dot, and if it's equal to, we put a closed dot because we include it. But in this case, it's excluding, which means if I put -1 in there, it will be false for both of them. Okay, so let's test it. Let's test the number on the left-hand side here. Let's go with -2 over here on this side. Okay. So -2 here, all the way on this side. I'm going to put that into each part. It should be false, right? Because we know the true part is this entire line. This line is the true part, which means on the left-hand side, it should be false. Now let's put -2 in here. Is -2 greater than -1? No, right? That's false. And that makes it pretty much sense. If I put -2 in here, a negative times a negative becomes a +2. Is 2 less than 1? No. So that's also false, which means these two mean exactly the same thing. But they will only mean the same thing if we flip the sign over. They will only mean the same thing if this greater than flips over and becomes a less than. And if this was greater than or equal to, this will become less than or equal to. So that's why when we multiply or divide by -1 in each and every single term, we always must remember that we need to flip the sign over. When we multiply or divide by -1 to keep it true, to keep it looking exactly the same, which is my objective in this, is to flip the sign over the other way for this. Okay.